168 billion, not Buffett's money. Yours, every premium you've paid Geico for car insurance, Berkshire holds it, invests it, buys Apple stock with it. Warren Buffett calls this float, money we hold that doesn't belong to us. It's the engine behind every big bet he's ever made. It's why a stock-picking holding company is secretly an insurance company in disguise. And the cost of borrowing those billions? Less than zero. Here's how the trick works. You pay Geico $1,500 a year for car insurance. Geico doesn't pay your claim today. It might never pay it. Maybe next month. Maybe in 20 years for a long-tail liability claim. In between, Berkshire invests that $1,500, multiply by 30 million Geico customers, add National Indemnity, add General Re, add Berkshire Hathaway Reinsurance. By the end of 2023, Buffett was sitting on $168.3 billion of policyholder money. He has to give it back, eventually. Until then, it earns whatever he can make it earn. Apple stock, Bank of America, Coca-Cola. In his 2023 letter, he wrote it plainly, money we hold that doesn't belong to us. It started at $39 billion in 2000, $73 billion by 2010, $114 billion by 2018, compounding, like a hedge fund with no margin call and no redemption window, $39 billion to $168 billion in 23 years, compounding at roughly 8% annually. And that's before you count what the float itself earns. Now here's where it gets wild. Most companies pay to borrow money. Berkshire gets paid to borrow. Geico, National Indemnity, and Berkshire's reinsurance arm have run an underwriting profit in 17 of the last 21 years. Translation, policyholders give Berkshire $100. Berkshire pays out $97 in claims and expenses. Berkshire keeps $3. Cost of capital, negative. Buffett, in his 2022 annual letter, called property and casualty insurance the engine that has propelled our expansion since 1967. Pause on that. A hedge fund pays 5% interest for prime brokerage leverage. A bank pays 4% for deposits. Berkshire pays -1 to -3% for $168 billion in firepower. If you can borrow at a negative rate and invest at a positive rate and never have to mark to market, you become the richest insurance company in the world. Not by accident, by design. The float machine is 4 companies. Geico writes about $40 billion in premiums a year. That's your car insurance, your friend's car insurance, the gecko on the billboard, all funneling cash into Omaha. Then there's National Indemnity. Buffett bought it from Jack Ringwalt in 1967 for $8.6 million. Today its policyholder surplus is roughly $300 billion, the largest single property and casualty insurer in the United States by that measure. He paid $8.6 million for it. Read that again. Then General Re, the reinsurance giant Buffett picked up in 1998, and Berkshire Hathaway Reinsurance Group, which writes the giant catastrophe contracts other insurers won't touch, the asbestos book, the hurricane book, the long-tail liabilities that pay out over 30, 40, 50 years. That long tail is the whole trick. Car insurance has to pay out in 12 months. A 1980s asbestos claim might pay in 2030. Berkshire skews toward the long tail on purpose. Longer tail equals longer hold equals more compounding. Premiums come in. Claims wait. Buffett invests and waits. So what does $168 billion of other people's money buy? At the end of 2023, Berkshire's equity portfolio was $354 billion. The top 5 positions read like a list of America itself. Apple, about $174 billion. Bank of America, $35 billion. American Express, $28 billion. Coca-Cola, $24 billion. Chevron, $19 billion. 5 companies. $1 trillion of market cap, give or take. Funded in large part by premiums you and your neighbors paid for car insurance and homeowners coverage. And then there's the part nobody quite admits out loud. Between 2018 and 2023, Berkshire bought back roughly $75 billion of its own stock. Buybacks accelerated after float crossed $120 billion, the money you sent for a fender bender. It went to Omaha, got reinvested in Apple, then circled back to buy out the shareholders Buffett didn't want anymore. Compounding made visible. Now the wrinkle. Float isn't free. It's a liability. Money that has to be paid back. And sometimes the bill comes due all at once. September 11, 2001, Berkshire's reinsurance arm took a roughly $3 billion loss on World Trade Center claims. The 2017 hurricane season, another billion. Hurricane Ian in 2022, $3.4 billion. Float can also shrink. It did once, falling from $129 billion in 2018 to $122 billion in 2020, as old retroactive reinsurance contracts ran off. So why is Buffett comfortable holding the bag? Duration. He knows car claims pay in months, asbestos claims pay in decades. As long as the average dollar stays parked longer than the average dollar costs to insure, the engine keeps running. So here's the question. Why hasn't anyone else done this? Markel runs $25 billion of float. W.R. Berkley, $30 billion. Fairfax, $35 billion. Combined, half of Berkshire's $168 billion. The model is public. The math is in every annual letter. Nobody can scale it because nobody else has 56 years of underwriting discipline plus a portfolio manager who picked Apple before it was Apple. And the succession plan locks it in. Ajit Jain runs insurance. Greg Abel runs everything else. Both have been there 20+ years. When Buffett goes, the float doesn't. That was always the point. Next on the hidden ledger, De Beers, the diamond cartel Anglo-American is trying to sell. Subscribe.